Uh, Good morning, everyone. This is a session for PhD and PDF aspirant students from India, specifically from Osmania. That's how we started this. Actually, specifically started with chemistry department, but realized that the format or the method or process is same for everyone, and a lot of life sciences students are also in need of such guidance. So we requested everyone to join. We have students from Mahatma Gandhi University from Nalgonda also. The professor from MGU also joined here. So um, and also thank you all the mentors who joined today. We are about to 15 20, about 20 people in the group, a mentors group, but some of them are not able to join today, but they will join subsequent sessions. This is our second session. Last week also we had an introductory session. If anybody needs a recorded session, please ping me. I will also share the recorded session in the group. Okay. Um, the objective is very clear. We would like to help our MSc, PhD, and who completed PhD and looking for PDF. So most of us, we studied there. Um, we all came, most of us, we came from rural background, and we studied in university, and we came here, US or Japan or Australia, Canada, whatever the country you are in now. And the main driving force for us to come together is a passion for science, passion for research. Um, if you compare salaries of scientists or PDF or PhDs who spent many years in the research, the salaries are not comparable with IT people who just study maybe 2 years and to take a crash course for 6 months and make a lot of money. So don't compare that way. But if you look at it as an opportunity to make difference in research, and if it is your passion, first thing is it should be your passion. That is a driving force for you. So that's how we all came here. And now most of us are either PhD students or uh, postdocs or already settled in companies or academic institutions. So we have something to offer to our students about opportunities and how to navigate the process, what are the requirements. Um, so these kind of things we would like to discuss in this series, and we would like to do it every week on Sunday like this. And eventually, the idea is based on your expertise. You can choose one or two students for one-to-one mentoring, because these weekly sessions will help to have a general understanding and exchange of ideas and opportunities. But uh, our students, unfortunately, unlike the students that are trained in US. For example, my daughter, she's 12th grade. She made beautiful resume of her profile. I was really amazed. But if I asked our students, India students, to send me resume, they didn't even prepare the resume. They don't know even how to prepare the resume. So that is the state of affairs we have, and they don't know the process. They don't know how to approach professors. They don't know the uh, the technical background to use some of the opportunities available on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional platform through which you can connect to many people. So, uh, sorry, I'm muting. Yeah, so they don't know a lot of stuff which are very commonly we use here and in the career. So they don't know a lot of stuff. So we need to give them some hand holding here and take them through the steps and also show the opportunities or navigate through the process, how to reach those opportunities. Okay, so that's the idea. I think I don't have to give a lot of introduction because everyone is well known about this. So what I will do is I will just call the names of the mentors, and mentors can um, just introduce themselves quickly, like what you are doing right now, and then you can narrate your experience, how you actually came to US or found the opportunities. And the third one is what is your suggestion to the students? What are the steps they need to take in order to be successful? So that is the kind of approach we take. So first introduction, then your own personal experience in getting here and being successful here. And the third one is your suggestion. So um, try to take 5 minutes each so that we can cover everyone. And later, once we have the discussion, we can answer questions from students. Okay. I will start with Sri Gata. Sri?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So,
Philadelphia area. Are you okay?
yeah, I'm totally fine. Thank you, Ravi. First of all, this is a great opportunity for me to be here with all renowned and experts in this area. Yeah, we generally don't talk about PhD and postdoc here, and then it's wonderful to hear. So myself, I'm not from OU, but I'm very good friend of Ravi for the last 15-20 years. I came to US, like Ravi said, like with 2 suitcases with $300 in my loaned money, and I did work. I did finish my PhD in North Dakota State University in pharmacology. Before that, I came from Andhra University and then National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, where I did my master's. Worked Ranbaxy for 6 months and then realized the importance of PhD, because whatever the experiments that I did design, they used to take my ideas and then they say that, like, you're just a master's, you are not we don't want to say that this idea came from you. So I felt like I took it very deep into my heart, like, okay, what's the difference between you and me is PhD, so let me do PhD. So I came here, did PhD in vascular pharmacology, and during my PhD time, I really wanted to be in industry. Because Ranbaxy helped me what I can do with the theoretical knowledge to the practice. So I wanted to be in the industry. So from the day one, I wanted to be in industry. I did do internships during my PhD program when I was in US. I worked with the GSK for 3 summers, 3 years, and then that helped me to get a lot of connections in GSK, which I one suggestion to all the aspirants here is, like, network is the net worth. If you are not connected, you are not able to sending your CV to correct people. So sending CVs via job fairs and online submissions may not take you anywhere. That's one suggestion. Because of my connections, I got job immediately after my PhD, worked for GSK for 11 and a half years, started in the lab, moved to clinical development, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 medical affairs studies. So I got a deep breath of not depth, but it's kind of, I would say, overall drug discovery and development experience. Started in drug discovery, and then now I'm in drug development. I did move pretty different sides. So another suggestion number 2 from me is, do not keep yourself at one place. We are scientists, we keep learning. Our agenda is every day we need to learn. If we don't learn, we are going to perish. Learning can be anything. It can be a different field, it can be a different science, but you still keep learning. What I did is, like, instead of keeping myself in the lab, I moved into other areas. Like, I did work in pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, and I worked in early clinical development, late clinical development, different roles as a clinical operations lead, as a clinical data manager lead, medical affairs lead, and clinical biomarkers lead. So I tried to, it all worked because, again, suggestion number 3, you are in driver's seat. Nobody else is going to drive your bus. So take charge, work if you wanted to go. That is the key thing. Mentors like us will help you. If you don't know where you wanted to go, that's the first question you need to answer. Because I can give you my example. When I wanted to move to clinical, people ask, great, but where in clinical? Clinical is such a vast field. So I was not clear where I wanted to go. So because of that question from a mentor to me, you need to find where you wanted to go, help me enjoying my job every day. Right now, I'm a clinical development scientist. I'm in cell therapy. I did work in small molecule, got approved 3 drugs so far. It feels so, great feeling that your whatever you worked is helping someone really right now. A patient is a great feeling. Again, I moved doesn't mean that everyone has to move. It's your calling. Like I mentioned, you are in the driver's seat. Drive the bus. It's your route. It doesn't matter where you are going, because that's what is your passion. Your passion is the key. Right now, I'm in cell therapy, like I mentioned. When I was applying for this job, it's a small biotech in South San Francisco, but I'm based in King of Prussia. One question asked by interviewer, like, hey, you never had an experience in cell therapy. Why do you think I should give you a promotion and at the same time new job? It's simple. I just exactly told the same thing, all these things. I am a quick learner. I want to learn something new. I thrive in when there is no clarity. So all these things. So you find the number 4 point, get your elevator speech. People will not give you more than 30 seconds. So in 30 seconds to 1 minute, you need to tell what you wanted to tell to the other person. Your CV is the face of you. Your CV needs to be clear. It should not be long. Most of the times, PhDs, postdocs, we want to keep our CVs like number of pages. No, it's everybody has probably will spend 1 page of your time. So in that 1 page, you need to show what you are to the other person. You can keep your publications in a separate file so that it will not reduce the burden on the person who is reading your CV. That's another suggestion. So I'm going to stop it here. My passion is to help others, because I got the help from so many people, and then I'm really fortunate that so many mentors help me. And at the same time, I want to help as many number of people as possible. That's my passion. Developing others is my passion. At the same time, I want to develop myself too. I have one mentee right now who is Prasanna from, again, not from OU. When Ravi sent this is like I need to send this to my mentee. And then he joined too. So I'm going to stop, Ravi. Sorry if long time.
No, no, no. It's perfect beginning. Thank you, Sri. And yeah, the two things that you mentioned, I want to clarify to students. Elevator speech. What is elevator speech? So when you take the lift, so in India we call it lift, right? So going from ground floor to maybe seventh floor, eighth floor, you will have 30 seconds or 20 seconds. So within that 20, 30 seconds, if you are able to explain what you are and what you want, that is called elevator speech. So you should think in those lines. The second one, short and clear CV. I used to put my CV like 3, 4 pages. And recently when I sat with my daughter about her CV. She made 1 page CV and she added something. It went a little bit into second page. I said it is okay, but she said no. It should be only 1 page. Then I googled and that it says 80% of the time it should be 1 page. So that is a lesson I got from my daughter, and those are the excellent points, Sri. Let's move on. Next to Pradeep Murray. Dr. Pradeep Murray is a postdoc, I think, biotech. Pradeep?
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Pradeep Reddy Murray. I did my undergrad in genetics from Osmania University and did my master's in biotechnology. And then I did my PhD from University of Hyderabad in agriculture. So I'm a plant biotech scientist. And I came to US, very interesting, I think, to me, after my PhD, and I was doing a molecular biology and plant breeding, centric PhD. At that time, genomics and bioinformatics was really picking up, especially in the area of plants. And then TCS was really getting into bioinformatics. So I spent 2 years after my PhD working for TCS in Hyderabad, doing bioinformatics. And then I decided that was not the area that I want to work with. I was already always interested in research. So then I applied for a postdoc into the US, and that's how my route for the US is. I came here to do a postdoc after working in India for 2 years in the biotechnology, because I'm always interested. I think, as Sri was saying, my interest was always in translational research. That means I'm interested in whatever I am working in, I want it to be meaningful for the people, right? I want it to be useful for the end users. And that is where my passion is, and that has been the driving force for my career. So I spent about 7 years doing a postdoc. I mean, that is really a long time for somebody, but again, that was a time when there were not a lot of industry jobs in agriculture and agriculture biotech in general. Then I got a lucky breakthrough, and then I found a job in a company called Dow AgroSciences, where I spent about 8 years doing a lot of biotech work in the ag sector. A lot of genomics work, a lot of bioinformatics work. And then I think, as Shri was saying, I grew significantly in the industry. Started off as a bench scientist, and then went on to lead global team of about 25 different scientists across the world. And then I made a career transition to now I work in a biotech company still in the ag sector, but I work for a startup now. Because then I realized, my passion, as I said, is always translational research, something closer to consumers and closer to the customers. So what the new startup would give me is an opportunity to even realize and get much closer to that dream, where, just to give an example, we are working on a product now in the last 3 years, and we are ready to release it to the consumers next year. So that's the kind of timeline and frame that we are working with. And I work in this new cutting edge technology area called as gene editing space in that. So that is my journey. I think always driven by what I wanted to do and where my passion is. And I've always taken up, I think, positions and jobs and grown myself into the space that I wanted to go. But just a few suggestions from what I have learned over my my career. for the students out there is, do your research, try and have a goal in mind. What is it that you wanted to do? And do your research. Kind of go back right now. I think all the information is available. So if you wanted to work in a particular area that you're interested in, go do your research, read some publications and see, okay, who is the person that is publishing a lot in this area? What do their labs look like? Where are the different experts in this area? And then go back. I think to me, in a way, not all your, a scientist in the US may not be interested in taking Indian students, right, for lack of whatever reason. So kind of go into there. Let's say you find 5 research experts in your area. Go look at what their lab composition is. Are there any people that are Indians out there? So make that network, as Sri was saying, right? So kind of make those connections and then start understanding what they really need. So that, to do your research, really, that is really important. To me, what I found is communication is the key, right? So you need to really be able to communicate very effectively. What is it that you wanted to do? What your expertise is, and how is it going to really help solve whatever the bigger problem that you're working on? So communication is, to me, the #1 goal for anybody who is wanting to come into the US for either PhD or postdoc, and also to be really successful, right? Communication is what. I think what Sri was also talking about is, being flexible and being open, right? I've always relied on saying, basically, if somebody offers you a job that you don't know, take the job and learn how to do the job, right? So you have to be open and flexible. To me, what I call, or what we call them, are transferable skills. So have those. So when you're doing your PhD, when you're doing postdoc, what you're learning is a core set of skills that are very specific to your particular area. And then what you call as transferable skills, right? So that means, how is it that your work is going to be helping other people? Communication skills, how do you interact with people? Collaboration, how do you work with the teams? So some of these are transferable skills, right? So when somebody gives you a job, say, yeah, I can learn. So when somebody is coming in for a PhD or a postdoc, we all believe that they have the expertise in whatever they're claiming the expertise are. And then we are basically saying, if this person doesn't fit into that specific area, can this person learn something new? Can I be able to teach this person something new? How flexible are they, right? So that's the key important criteria as well. So I would say, do your research, develop communication skills, and be open and transparent, and be flexible in terms of what you wanted to do. So that's my key messages for you.
Okay, thank you, Pradeep. Next, I will go to Dugyala. Ravi. Ravi, are you there?
Yes, yeah, hi.
Hi.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you for giving the opportunity to really come here. It's really exciting, actually. Very happy to see all these young scientists actually, coming in a different area. Because when we, started very early, right? I mean, well, we had no idea. I mean, I like many of you, I came from a humble background. I went to government Jilla Parishad High School, Telugu medium, in 70s. It's just very, very, very interesting. How you come into this level, which is kind of interesting. Telugu medium, came to Warangal and completed intermediate and degree, and MSc in Warangal, which is technically rural. I mean, compared to like Hyderabad, right? I mean, in terms of opportunities and the people, who are, my friends in masters, they are not really, looking anything really higher other than becoming a teacher at that time. All I heard is like, well, I become a teacher, I become, complete my BEd, or, do a, group 3 or group 4 exam and become a, government employee. So which was, for me at that time, I was like, I felt like it is, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad job, but I felt like it is a little bit underachievement, in terms of, thinking, probably setting a higher goal. I think for me at the time was very, very, important. So then when I, and also, unlike, most of here chemists, I mean, my background is, I mean, I even though I was really good in chemistry at the time, still I felt like my interest was more on living things. I was more excited about it. And whenever I read any publications or looking at all the scientists at the time, oh, this is where I need to do research. That's where I was so excited. So in spite of all my friends became chemists at the time, I was kind of into zoology, and which I kind of um, very very excited about. And I was actually at the time I was the only one got CSR UGC fellowship at the time in life sciences, and everybody like, oh my God, I mean, whoever gets in this kind of field, right? So that allowed me to go to Hyderabad, Osmania University, because there's only one professor at the time who was working on immunology, and I really wanted to get into that lab. And because before that fellowship, I met him again, like, Pradeep and Sri was saying, you got to have real passion, and you should not take no for answer. So I went to his house and explained that I'm really interested, work in immunology. And at the time he was working on leprosy. He had a lot of grants from Britain. So, he basically told me frankly that if you don't get a, CSR UGC scholarship, there's no way you can get into my lab, because all the people who are in my lab are pretty much have these scholarships. So, but anyway, luckily I got that one, so I could get into his lab. That's how I met, actually. I met in the, university research hostels. So, I mean, so that really helped me to, look into, getting into, higher level, research and things like that. At that time, I remember sitting in, those canteens in front of these, hostels. Yeah, all these engineering students, like, oh yeah, they're all going every day. Everybody telling, I'm going this university, that university, and I say, like, thinking myself, like, how come we didn't go? How come we didn't really, people couldn't go, and that really put me. I remember, I was listening to Mahinder, talking about, preparing for GRE and things like that at the time. There is no books, right? So I remember driving almost every day to Central University to sit there and read all the books and what colleges we have, what are the scholarships, what departments and things like that. I did a lot of research, and that CSR scholarship allowed me to prepare for GRE, whatever, TOEFL, whatever. So anyway, so that's how I journey. So what I'm saying is, you need to have real passion, and you may not have all the people around you who knows about your subject, your interest, but I mean, if you really put into that, and communication at the time, of course, mail. So that's how I got in. And also, like other people are saying, mentor is also very important, because biology is a vast field, and every there is all different kind of biologies, and I was like totally lost, like which is the better one for me, right? So luckily I had one from Hyderabad, and who really guided me, like, hey, you know what, you should work in an area where you can get a industry job, which is easy to get in, and rather than getting into academia, things like that. So that's how I got into toxicology, which is like hybrid of biology and chemistry, and where you understand the study of poisons, how they affect your body, and what are the biomarkers you can monitor them. So that's how I think once I got my degree, I did a couple of postdocs. Still at that time, I still don't know what I want to do, honestly, because academics degree, sometimes graduate school, whatever, for example, here, don't tell you exactly what you can really, because it's so broad, and they try to train you in every field, right? And you can be research, or you can do industry work, and especially industry, they won't really a lot of pay attention, because they expect you to understand the principles and get to it. So then I did a couple of postdocs. the 2 years, in academia, and also after that 2 years in the FDA, Center for Devices, where I was, working with the FDA scientists, try to understand the, regulatory concerns, how you regulate, devices and drugs and things like that. So I got into that, was kind of interest me. So then, that's how I got into a biotech company for a year after that. Around 2000, I think I moved to a company called Session2, which Merck bought. And I started there as a reproductive toxicologist. So, and then 15 years in Novartis, working in all different diseases, oncology, cardiovascular, metabolic disorders, where I work with global teams and help in the preclinical safety to understand the, safety of the new molecules, biologics, and, plan the clinical trials, and also help in marketing applications, things like that, to get approval of the new drugs, biologics. Currently, I am working in a small biotech in Pennsylvania. I am the head of the preclinical safety group, and we work with drugs, new drugs, treating chronic hepatitis and also COVID antiviral work. So that's where I am in right now. So, this is, the idea is, I think, first of all, you need to have passion, right? That's very important. I mean, because you have a lot of distractions, like, like Pradeep was saying. I mean, you got, and when you are in college here, wherever, you have a lot of these engineering guys come in and like spend like 6 months and run into, computer job. And I was sitting myself like, what I'm doing here, I'm almost like 30s, and I don't have any serious, job ahead of me. So that's a lot of distraction, believe me, especially when you are, when you are poor. So, but beat that, ultimately, to me, like, you really need to, you want to have a career or you want to have a job. So that's what you have to decide. One career is something like you built your expertise, and at end of the day, you should become an indispensable person in a company where you're working. So when you become like that, end of the day, it doesn't really matter if that company exists or not. It doesn't really matter, because you can take your expertise anywhere else in the world, or maybe sit in the corner of the house and still survive. So that's how I think you should focus on. So, I mean, very early, you don't get that idea, right? I mean, you still, struggle and everything. But end of the day, I think you have the passion, probably you built your expertise in it. Don't get distracted. My feeling is any area you're working on has a potential for a job. I mean, if there is no job, there won't be any expertise, in the industry institution. So there's always something. So people may not have all the experience around you, but just, I bet you'll figure it out. That's how I look at it. And like many people said, I mean, you need to go after, your goals and put a lot of effort and a lot of trial and error. You waste a lot of, time. You'll be applying so many jobs, hundreds, and even after 4 years of my postdoc, I used to go to meetings, and I used to harass everybody in there. All the people, like giving resumes to almost like 100. I used to go with 100 resumes and give to everybody. I mean, so I mean, it just very early you have to really fight for it, honestly, because like many people are saying, you don't have a lot of experience, so you can't really show much. So what you show is your passion and your commitment and hope for the best. And once you get your few years experience in your belt, I mean, after that, people will be after you. So that's my experience. So I mean, look, you got to don't worry that you don't have experience. So you got to try to gain that somehow. Start small and gain that experience and get to there where you want to go. Yeah, that's all I have.
All right.
Ravi
Thank
garu,
you.
Ravana, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
So you're working in hepatitis, right? Chronic hepatitis diseases or just
Right.
hepatitis? So the small molecule that you're working for hepatitis C or like any kind of
We're working on hepatitis B. Hepatitis C, actually, drugs are invented. Actually, the guy who invented the drug is my chief scientific officer. Actually, they discovered a drug which literally cured the hepatitis C, honestly. And everybody at that time, I remember, all the other companies basically folded all these programs, including Novartis. At the time, I was working on some of the infective programs, and they had to close down everything because so that was in Pharmacet in Princeton, New Jersey, and that company bought by Gilead at the time. And my chief scientific officer, he made a bunch of money and started this company. So at this point, we are working on the chronic hepatitis B virus and other antiviral.
Like there are other companies who are developing a vaccine also for hepatitis C. So this is what you're saying, like the small molecule, right?
Right.
Small molecule based therapy.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean,
sir.
vaccines are there. Vaccines are there even for the chronic hepatitis B, but unfortunately,
not C. B is there. B lot there, but not for
Yeah.
C. Many.
Right. Yeah, we have drugs now. So look, yeah. So there's a lot of market for it, especially antivirals. We have very few antiviral drugs, honestly.
Yes.
And I think that space is really competitive. A lot of companies working on it.
Okay, sir. I'll get back to you, sir. Sometime.
Yeah.
Let's
We can
continue this.
have
Sorry,
some,
Ravana.
Yeah. We can have offline discussions also, and eventually, I would like to request everyone to give like a 30-minute presentation on their research. That will basically expose you more in depth. But this is the introductory session for many of us, and we won't be doing these introductory sessions as we go forward. It will be more focused. I realize that 5 minutes is not sufficient, so let's spend between 5 to 10 minutes and then give a good introduction, so that the students also please note down what they are saying. Is it matching to your interest? And then so that eventually we can do some kind of mapping of interest and for one-to-one mentoring. Thank you. Now I would like to request Raghuveer Singh, if he is there. Raghuveer?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Raghuveer Mali. So I did my MSc and PhD in Osmania University. So in biochemistry department from 98 to 2004. So after I completed my MSc, so I was interested in the research. So then I find a professor in my department and I went there and I approached him and I told that I'm interested in the research. So at that time he has a opening. So he told me to first work as a research assistant kind of. Then after working for 6 months, then he gave me opportunity to register for the PhD. So then I completed my PhD. Then I came as a postdoc to US. So like earlier people told, I give a couple of suggestions. So how I ended up in the US is like, again, through connections. I was lucky at that time. One of the person who did the PhD in Osmania University, he came to US and he became a professor. So he was visiting back in India and he came to our department to give a seminar. So then at that time I approached him and I told that, so I'm finishing my PhD. I'm interested in the research in the US. So I contacted him because of his connection with my supervisor. So I ended up getting a postdoc position. So definitely the connections will help, because a lot of people get almost hundreds of resumes here, so nobody will have the time to go through the resumes and contacting you back. So if you know somebody who is working in their labs, or if somebody who is already have connections with our departments or with the university, so that will be very helpful, contacting those kind of applying for those kind of positions through them. So that will be a direct connection to the professors. So that's how I ended up in the US. So after coming to the US, so after 3 years, again, my professor did not got his funding back. Then I have to look for the again opportunity. So at that time, again, I was again lucky because of my connections. So I need to find the job, find the position within 1 or 2 months, because there is no money with my professor. So again, one of my friend working in different lab, so there is a opportunity. So then he forwarded my resume to his professor. So then he interviewed me and I got the opportunity there to work. So again, the earlier people's suggestion, the same thing, like, so I don't have experience in the field that lab is working, but still when they offered me the opportunity, so I took the opportunity. So then I joined that lab, then I learned the new skills and I improved myself. So that's how I got my second postdoc opportunity. Then again, I went to into the industry also. For getting the industry also, I used the same approach. So I have some friends who is working again in the industry. So I took their help in applying to the jobs. Again, same thing in the industry positions also, because a lot of people apply through the direct site, but directly, if you know somebody in the industry also, they can forward your resume to the hiring manager directly. So that's how I ended up with my first industry job also. So always the connections will help, and so make sure to make a lot of new connections. And the second thing is, when you're connecting with somebody on the LinkedIn or contacting them first time, so don't ask like, oh, so I'm looking for the job or like that. So show your passion, what they are doing. So first connect with them. So slowly, eventually you can ask for if there are any opportunities or anything. So in the first time itself, when you're connecting, so if you directly ask for help, maybe because they don't know you much, so that may not work. So that is my uh, second suggestion. Yeah, so I'm happy to help. Yeah, my background is biology and biochemistry, and if anyone interested in those areas, I can help. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Raghuveer. Now I request Dr. Bhaskar Tallada from CSR, Dehradun. Bhaskar Unnara? Okay, if he is not there, now I request Shyam.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Shyam Bhandari. Basically, I'm from Nizamabad. I did my college, like bachelor's in biotechnology from government college, Nizamabad. And then after that, I went for my master's from Bangalore University. So then after finishing my master's, so then I did kind of worked as a research intern at Indian Institute of Horticulture Research for 6 months. Then after that, I went to CCMB, where I worked as a junior research fellow for almost 2 years. And then after that, I applied for PhD positions, and then I got a PhD position in Germany. And then I did my PhD in Germany for 3.5 years. And then after that, I came to US. So that's how I ended up in the US. But the interesting story I would like to share here is it's a persistence actually. So you should be always like, if you have a goal in mind, so you always have kind of persistence about it. So you have to continuously keep on working on it. So after my master's, so I was thinking like, I was interested in research, but I don't have any clarity like how and how to get into research, or like that's the case with the majority of the students here. So we know like we want to do PhD, but we don't have a clarity of thought. So the clarity of thought is main, and the persistence is the key. If you have these two things in mind, then it's easy to get success. So that's what I'm after finishing my master's. So that's what I was. I know I want to get into research, but I don't have a proper guidance. So where exactly I have to go? So then I was talking to my friends and then kind of creating network. And then imagine actually, I when I was in Bangalore, so I used to, I took help of my friend. And then I used to just kind of travel a lot to all the research institutes and go there and just give my CV, drop my CV at all the research institutes. So I'm looking for a research internship. So I did that actually continuously. I went to like GKVK or IISc or you name it actually, JNCSR. So I used to go to all these research institutes and drop my CV there. And then after that, I used to get like 1 or 2 calls from here and there. And then I finally ended up in IHR. So where I did my kind of a internship for 6 months. So that really started like opening up different avenues. So in IHR, I learned all these molecular biology techniques, like PCR, and then a Western blot, and then DNA isolation. So all that I have learned. So then after that, I slowly started looking for, so now I know like, okay, now I want to do PhD. So I was very clear in my mind that I want to do PhD abroad actually. So then that's where I started kind of thinking what exactly should my approach be. So one thing that I always do is, so wherever I am, so I want to stand out actually. So I want to kind of show some kind of a different skill sets compared to the other people. So mainly the communication is the key. First thing, next thing is the communication is the key. The how you sell yourself. So if you don't sell yourself, so then you will not get it. Nobody's going to recognize you actually. So that's one of the key point. And one more suggestion I would like to give is basically, so whenever you're choosing a career or a job, keep 3 things in mind. First thing is, so choose a career what you are good at actually. So what your skill sets are actually, what you are good at. So depending upon your kind of strengths, you have to choose your career. Second thing is, you have to keep in mind that the career that you are choosing should have a good scope actually, good future actually. So you have a chance to grow. So that's the second thing you have to keep in mind. So one thing is what you are good at and where there's a good scope for growth. And the third thing is what you love actually. I mean, it's not like you choose a career and which you don't love, it won't take you anywhere, right? So at the middle of your career, you'll break down. I mean, if you don't love what you're doing actually. So these are the 3 things that you have to keep in mind. That these are the 3 things that I always keep in mind whenever I kind of choose a career or whenever I kind of go for a new job. So that's what these 3 things I'll keep in mind. So yeah, it was interesting. So after finishing my internship, so then I started applying for a project DRF positions. So this is also key. Sometimes what happens is, immediately after finishing your master's, you might not be able to get a PhD that you wanted, right? So that's where you have to be kind of think differently. So try to approach different research institutes. In Hyderabad itself, there are like almost more than 100 research institutes. And so what you should do is, once you finish your master's, you should start applying for this kind of project DRF positions, like in CCMB, CDFD, like big institutes actually. So once you get into that, so your opportunities will kind of quadruple actually at a single time. So because that's where all the key brain is, right? So the people from abroad, like different scientists, will come there and give lectures. So that's where you can connect with the scientists and then ask them for your PhD or anything. So that's what exactly I did actually. So I applied for the project DRF positions, and then I got interviewed, and then I got a call immediately that they have hired me. So once I went there, I worked in a structural biology lab where my expertise was cloning, expression, and purification of different proteins, and then like kind of making different mutant versions of the different proteins, and then doing the RNA binding studies. So one thing what I have realized was I was not exactly from like a university, so I was from a university affiliated college, but all my colleagues in CCMB, the place where I worked, they were from the central universities and all the different like very good places. But what I have realized was, so one thing that you have is basically the hard work. So you have to work hard, and you should think smart. Actually, that's what makes the difference actually. And then I always mention like you need to be a good salesperson. You have to kind of sell your skills actually. So that's what I kind of started doing that actually. I was kind of keen on, I know actually I want to do a PhD in abroad. So for that, I need these skill sets. I used to work hard actually. I mean, so my mentor was like, he used to come at around like 7 o'clock in the lab. He used to, I mean, he expect us to be in the lab at 7 o'clock in the morning actually. So I used to go there, I mean, at 7 o'clock. And then I used to do breakfast with him at CCMB, I mean, in the canteen. And then we used to talk there, like what exactly we have to do for that day. And then that helped me a lot, actually. I mean, so that's how I kind of created a bond with my mentor, actually. So then he started believing in me. This guy is very keen on learning things, and then he's very hardworking. So then I used to kind of read a lot. And then my approach was always like, as I mentioned, so I always kind of wanted to be a different, actually. If I'm in a group also, I want to stand out, actually. That's what makes a difference, right? So then I used to kind of talk to people. And then whenever I used to give the presentations, I used to kind of make something different compared to other people, so that they can people can notice, actually. So then these all points kind of helped my mentor. I mean, he got very good impression on me. Then he went to, at the time, actually, there was some kind of exchange program between the Germany and India. So he did, my mentor did his PhD from Germany, Göttingen, Max Planck Göttingen. So he went there for an exchange program for 6 months or something. So during the time when he went there, in the lab, so I was there. So with me, 2 other projects, JRs were there, but immediately after 1 year, he kind of fired them, and then he kind of continued me. And there are 2 other PhD students. So we were like 3 or 4 people in the lab. Then what I made sure was, if my mentor was there or not, my focus was I have to work. So I have to work, finish the work, and then send him the update every day. Actually, I used to send him the update every day. Even though he was in Göttingen, Max Planck, I used to send every day. After finishing my work, I used to make a PowerPoint and then send it to him. So with this, like I did this continuously for 6 months, actually. So once he came back, he was very happy, actually. So even though I was not there, so you were consistently performing and then giving me the results. So that's when like he told like, now I want to push you to the next level. So now, so he said like, I always mentioned him, like I wanted to do PhD abroad in Germany. So he told, okay, now one of my kind of people whom I know are coming from Germany. So they are visiting CCMB. So you can talk to them. I mean, I don't tell them like what you are and how you are. It's up to you, how you impress them. And so it's like sell yourself, basically. So then he introduced me, and then I started talking to them. And then, so after like it was not much time. I had just like 1 hour to convince them that I'm the person, I mean, they are looking for, actually. So I took that opportunity, and then I went, it was like, we went for a lunch, actually. So during the lunch time, so I have that opportunity to convince them that I'm the right person for this PhD position. So I convinced them, I talked to them slowly. I told them like how I kind of started my career and what exactly I had clarity of thought in mind, like what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses and where I want to go. This is the key for you, actually, for your success. So I explained everything to them. And then after that, immediately when they went back to Germany, so then they kind of messaged me saying that we are going to hire you. But the thing is, I mean, you convinced us, but you have to convince the committee as well. This is basically international committee. So this is an international graduate school. So you have to convince them. So then that's when I kind of I have to go through all this interview process, and then I finished these interviews, and then I got selected for the fellowship. Then I did my PhD for 3 years in Germany, and then after that, I came to the US. So I joined as a postdoc at University of Alabama at Birmingham in a cancer center. So I worked, my expertise is basically cancer biology. So right from basic biology to the translational research. So my main focus in my postdoc was, I chose an interesting problem. We know that the chemotherapy is a key for all cancer, right? So most of the like patients undergo chemotherapy as a primary treatment for cancer. But, you know, I mean, after a couple of months or maybe after a year, the cancer will come back. So why exactly this is happening? So basically, what are the negative side effects of the chemotherapy? And then why the cancer comes back again after the chemotherapy? So that's where my passion was. So then what I found was we made an interesting discovery that there are like small extracellular vesicles, small vesicles that are released from the tumor cells. So when you kind of treat the person with the chemotherapy, so the cancer cells will emit, like they pack all the information in these small vesicles and they release it into the bloodstream. And once these vesicles get into the bloodstream, so they'll go and reach to the non-cancerous cells, and they are taken up by the non-cancerous cells, and they convert the normal cells into the cancer cells again. So that's what I have found out. And we named these vesicles as a chemo exosomes. And so we are the first one to kind of coin this term. And then we have introduced this chemo-induced exosomes as a kind of a negative side effect for the chemotherapy. So that's what I did my postdoc there. And then I worked on a small molecules during my postdoc as well. And I worked as a staff scientist there itself. So my thing was, wherever you go, you have to prove your point. You have to prove your metal, actually. That's where the people will help you to get to the next level. So then I finished my postdoc and I worked as a staff scientist. And then at the late stages of my postdoc, I have realized that I have to get into the industry. So that's where I kind of started polishing my skills, industrial skill sets. And as I mentioned, so the persistence is a key. I mean, you should keep on trying, then only you'll get a success. So then I applied for industrial positions after getting my green card. So now currently I work for a mid-stage pharmaceutical company so called Exelixis. So I work as a senior scientist in a drug discovery lab. It's a early stage drug discovery lab. So my role is basically to kind of identify the targets where we can work on, where we can develop small molecules. And then we do kind of have lots of brainstorming sessions with people from chemistry backgrounds, and then PK/PD background, and then cleanups side. So what we do is basically we kind of identify the target where we can target, and then we kind of develop this target, and then we design different kind of cell-based assays to kind of validate the target, and then we also design the different high throughput screening methods to screen millions of small molecules against this target. That's what we do. And then what my future goal is, basically, I want to get in-depth knowledge of all the drug discovery process, as Dr. Sri mentioned. So basically, I want to kind of get like in-depth knowledge of drug discovery process, right from the beginning of drug discovery to the late stage drug discovery. That's what my goal is, basically. So 3 things I would like to kind of mention is basically persistence is a key, and then hard work is main, and then kind of try to think smart, actually. So try to be different, actually. Don't follow the same route that what your seniors have followed or somebody else has suggested. So kind of create your own path, actually. So that's my suggestion. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'll be always like I'm happy to help you guys, and then I whatever I can. So thank you. Yeah.
Great.
Ravi,
Thanks.
Ravi,
Yes.
may I add a quick comment here? Actually, Sham, it's very inspiring.
Yeah.
How did you get your German fellowship? Can you explain a little bit for the students? You know, like I know you got the introduction through your advisor. That's I understand.
Yeah.
So, getting a fellowship, how did you work on that? Which may help some students to like try that kind of opportunity.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at Germany, so one good thing about Germany is you can finish PhD in 3 to 3.5 years. So main thing to get PhD in Germany is you need to have a research experience. Sometimes you might be lucky, and then once you finish your master's, you can get a PhD position in Germany. But that's not the case all the time. So you need to have a research experience, and then there are like different German foundations like Max Planck Foundation, and then the like DFG fellowship, and then there are like
that will be there, right?
That fellowship is there, and there are SFB fellowships. There are like different fellowships there. So what you have to do is you have to keep on searching on Google, and then apply for those fellowships. All you need for those fellowship is, I mean, you need to have a good academic background. So, and at the same time, if you have a research background, that's the biggest advantage actually. So they look for, I mean, in Germany, what they look for is basically they look for people from who have research experience, already research experience. So you have to have that research experience. And then at the same time, so you have to see, like, let's say, if you type in like Google IMPRS fellowship, like, or Google DAD fellowships. So when you look at those websites, you find the profile of all the scientists. So you look into those scientist profiles and then kind of keep on following their work, and then kind of make a note of like what exactly they're working, and then what exactly the new thing that you can bring onto the table for them. So then you, like, every 6 months once, I think they have this fellowship programs. So you can find it online actually. So
you just applied. You didn't write any proposal.
You just apply. Yeah.
So your research experience and your academic background helped you a lot to get this fellowship. So student has to understand here. So there are lots of fellowships available in Europe, which helps you to get PhD positions in Europe. And again, the advantage doing PhD in Europe is 3.5 years, you can finish it off. Thanks, Sham. Thanks for your input.
I think even Sweden is also offering a PhD program.
Yes, Sweden, New Zealand, lots of countries.
New Zealand is less, but Sweden is good. Norway and other places, I think, because some of the some of them I know who have done postdoc PhD and came to USA and came to Canada also.
And by the way, Sham, I just want to mention to you, I'm from Nizamabad too.
Oh, okay. Hi. Yeah.
Wow.
Hindu. Sham, that was a great
presentation. Let's get go.
I have one quick question. I know it takes 3.5 years or less in Europe, but how about the language though? You need to learn language.
No need, I think.
No need of the language actually. Yeah, it's basically if you go into the good schools like Max Planck or like good universities, so there's no issue for the language actually. So
yes, sometimes it's finicky in France and Germany. If you learn the language, it adds up to your daily life. I think in research life, I don't think in your professional life, I don't think it matters.
Outside lab, you may need a language, but otherwise you're good.
Yeah.
Good, Sham.
Let's go to the next person, next speaker. Ravi Meredi. Can you introduce the next speaker?
Unmute, yeah. Sorry. Next is Dr. Sudhakar Kalakunda.
Okay.
Sudhakar?
Yes, Ravi. Good morning, Ravi. First, I would like to appreciate you. Like what I heard, some people are by birth, they are leaders like you. Very few people are willing to support, not only support, to integrate everyone. Whoever is having a talent, at the same time, who is going to receive the talent. Thank you, Ravi. I am from Palamur or Mahabubnagar. I think as Ravi said, Ravi Prakash Dugyala said, I did my up to bachelor in Telugu medium. The language is not the barrier if you have a passion. I want to say one thing. If everybody want to earn the money, correct? I think the previous people, what they say that if you want to earn the money, if you add the one letter L to the earn, then you can earn the money. Without learning, earning is not possible. That's why we must keep in our mind, learning is a crucial and ultimate step. Anything. Then learning how it is going to happen through observation, it can happen. Why I am saying this observation is happen. After finishing my BSc, I joined in Osmania University for my master's in genetics. When I joined in the master's in genetics, at that time only a lot of my seniors, they flew to USA. At that time, I had a passion in design. Either I have to go to US, or if I want to settle down in India, I want to become a collector. Only the two passions were there, either collector or to go to US. The collector passion did not go through, but the passion of the US, I could able to land in here. But really saying that persistence is important. After the master's, I did my PhD. Then whoever they came to India, luckily my PhD mentor, he used to organize international conferences every year, 2 to 3. Whoever they come, either from Europe or USA, does not matter for me. Prepare a CV, hand over to CV them. Some people, they said, no problem, we will give. But after coming America, there is no letters. I did not thought that no problem, but still I tried. Until 2002, from 98 to 2002, I was keep trying, but one day I could able to land it here. But my background is biology. I worked as a faculty at University of Maryland 19 years. After that, I used to do a lot of research in a different model system, particularly for the students who are here in biology background or in that matter, any subject. The fundamentals is the most crucial step. We don't pay much attention on the fundamentals. My teacher used to say, those who know fundamentals, it is fun for them, mental for others. Those who don't know fundamentals, it is mental for the person, fun for others. That's why to avoid the mental and fun for others, let us learn the fundamentals. Okay. Why I'm saying that a lot of people, they do biology, biotechnology, and all the big things, they have a high passion, but they don't know the fundamentals. Everybody on this universe, if you want to study something, you should have a model system. That model system is a single cell living entity, which is a bacteria. That's why try to improve your fundamentals to reach your goal. Then the two key points I want to say that if you want to see any tiny things, we have to focus. Without focus under the microscope, you can't see anything. It means if I'm not seeing anything means I did not focus. If I did not achieve my goal means I did not focus. Then what I have to do? I must focus. Okay. The second thing is in a radio, all the time, radio station is there, radio news also there in the air, but I have to tune. Without tune, I can't hear anything. Even though radio is there as well as the news are there, without tune, I can't hear. Similarly, the moment of I heard the word tune, it means I have to read the article, what is going on, who is working, what is my field of interest. If that interest is going to be suitable, then I have to approach them. Like that, if you work keeping the 3 words, learn, focus, tune, definitely you will land or you will reach your goal. Okay, with this, I will stop it here. Ravi, thank you once again.
Thank you, Sudhakar. Those are excellent words. Now I request Ganga Reddy. Ganga Reddy, are you there? If Ganga Reddy is not available, I see
he's there. He's there. I think he's on mute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hello,
He's
good
back.
morning
Yes, go ahead.
and good evening in India. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to connecting you all people here. So myself is Gangareddy. Currently, I'm working as a postdoc fellow at University of Arizona, Tucson. So I'm from Nizamabad too. And yeah, I did my bachelor's in Nizamabad SR College. So till my bachelor's, I studied in Telugu medium, as few people mentioned earlier. So at that time, I decided to prepare for IPS, when I was in degree. So, but at the time, I was more, a clever student in chemistry. So I thought it's better to do masters. So before I enter to, getting some, go for some coaching or preparing some civils or whatever group one. So then I prepared for MSc, Osmania University. I got good rank and got a seat in MNR College. So since I'm a Telugu medium background, I faced lots of issues during my masters because I couldn't able to speak with my faculty also. So, but however, I finished my masters. So then I immediately, what I did is I got an offer from industry. So after immediately passed out from MSc, so I joined as a some for 7,000 salary in early 2011. So once I finished my master's, the next day I joined the industry. So the same time, that was a crucial period in Telangana, like the Telangana hesitation movement. So my batch was the most affected batch in entire the period at that time. So what I did is, so like I have joined under one senior person who finished his postdoc from Max Planck University at that time, Germany. So after seeing me, he suggested like within 1 week, he said that you have brilliant knowledge and you have good skills. So why you need to end up your career in industry directly? Why can't you do PhD? So then I thought that no, I have some plans to like this. So I said that okay, but you have an option. So if you think if you have an option, so go for PhD. So you have good skills in chemistry. So on, so like that he suggested. But at the time, after 45 days, I'm not satisfied with my job, what I'm doing in industry. So immediately I stopped it. So at the same time, some government notifications were released during in 11. For I say, I thought, okay, first I will, I make a plan. First, I want to get some small job, whatever government job. Then it will allow me to get, do my preparation. So what I thought, so to get some time period, so I need some kind of teaching. If it is teaching kind of job, so that will be easy to prepare for a higher, whatever competitive exams. So then at that time, I thought is the better option is this, DL or JL, whatever. So then at the time, the sub-inspector notification was released. So I thought, okay, first I could try myself. So I almost there. I finished my 5 km and all the things. I completely take a different direction for the sub inspector exam. So I went to all the coaching. I finished my 5 km. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Carry on. Continue.
Okay.
You're on mute. You're on mute. Ready.
Yeah. The same time, like before the exam, so the notification was cancelled. So then I have a pressure. I feel pressure from my home because I'm an independent candidate. So I don't want to get any support from my family after my masters. So that's the main reason why I joined in industry earlier. So once the notification cancelled, I am very disappointed. So I have to prepare something. I have to earn something for myself at least. So then I have 2.5 months time. So either I have to prove myself where I have knowledge, first of all. So I am a good student in chemistry. Then I prepared for CSIR. So within 2.5 months, I cracked the JRF. So I thought, okay, it is also a way to get a DL exam. We need a net qualification to write a DL exam. So then yeah, after getting qualified CSIR, so immediately I started preparation for DL. So for 6 months, I did not join anywhere. But second 6 months, I thought we have to join in within 1 year. So at that time, the situation is not good in Telangana. There are so many things are going around. So I don't know when the notification will release.
So then I thought it's okay, better to join somewhere. Why I need to waste the CSIR qualification? So then with my friends' support, because some of my friends already doing a PhD in IICT. So I have joined in IICT as a junior research fellow under Dr. Hamad Kamal. So he's an outstanding scientist and ex-director of NIPER. So then I started 1 year preparation. Then I stopped it because either I have to choose within 1 year. I have to choose either I should go through completely that field what I chosen earlier, either completely the research side. So the time was not good in Telangana, as I mentioned. So I decided to completely focus on research. So I worked a lot for the early stage because first year I completely focused on the DL preparation. Then I have only 4 years to finish my PhD. The same time, I worked with along with my seniors and explored myself because I am completely new to the research way what I chosen. So and yeah, that 4 years I worked a lot with my seniors and then I got good publications as well. So then I made a good connection at that time. So as earlier so many members mentioned, the connections are important if you want to sustain in the field, whatever field it is. Nowadays, the connections are important. So when I before my finishing of PhD, so I got an opportunity from Australia as a visiting research fellow. So generally, the visiting research fellow will give for who finished their PhDs or who are in like positions as assistant professors or scientists like that in India. The university, the abroad university will offer them as a visiting fellow. But because of my CV and my skills, so one of my senior noticed me when I was in PhD. So he personally seen me. So then he helped me to get a position. So he discussed with his PI. So their lab needed one person who could really do a passionate research. So he advised him and he helped me to get to Australia. So then there I worked as a visiting research fellow for 1 year. So the latter that was extended for another 1.5 years as a postdoc fellow. So from there I moved to USA like last January. So currently I'm working at University of Arizona. So my main research is like medicinal chemistry. So I work in a variety of drug discovery projects. So currently mainly focused on the TNBC drug discovery, triple negative breast cancer. Yeah, this is my little bit introduction. So what I suggest from my end is currently so grab the opportunity. So whatever you are, so once you finish your master's, so if you have really intended to do PhD, so start about thinking that. So immediately once you finish your PhD, sorry, master's, so try to get in job in like industry or anywhere else, because without experience, nobody will take you as a PhD student. So if you think in abroad what they see, so they have to spend some money on you as an international candidate. So without having some experience, without having some knowledge in the research, so why they need to put some money on you? So and connections, as earlier mentioned, so connections are important. So contact through LinkedIn or whatever way your seniors are regularly get in touch with them, so who are in related to your field. So definitely it could helpful for your future. Yep. And I am the poorest student when I was in my school days or intermediate, even though degree also. So at that time, nobody was there to me support. So luckily, when I joined in PhD, so when I making my circle, so with that circle only, I explored many things. So today I'm here means because of my circle only, I would say simply, because I did not get much information from my PA back to India or anywhere, but every time I received lots of inputs from my seniors, through my connections only.
Yes,
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great journey, Gangareddy. So thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead.
Ravana, వెతటికి గుండారెడ్డి ఒకటి ఇది ఉన్నది అటు వెళ్ళేది ఉంది మరి. We need to continue or like next one more session we can have. What's the plan?
Well,
It's almost 1.5
we
hours.
will continue another 30 minutes. So let's, I mean, we have 2-3 only for introduction. We'll limit this session only for introductions.
Yeah.
From next session onwards, we can have more interactive way. So you want to go ahead, Srinivas?
Do you mind, like, if I'm not in the list, that is fine. If I'm in the list,
No,
can
you
I...
are the next one.
Oh, I'm the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Hey, I'm Srinivas Reddy from Mahbub Nagar or Palamur, Kottota. Of course, my background is also same thing, like Telugu medium. And I did my MSc Osmania in zoology, PhD in zoology, but I did most of the work in Central University from 1992. Completed my PhD in 95, and I was there as a research associate, research officer, as well as a DST Young Scientist. I got a DST Young Scientist award, and I came to USA in 2002, and I started working in the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health as a postdoc. And I worked there for 4 years in the Department of Physiology, and later I moved to epidemiology. And then I started working, like, spin-off company was there with the GSK funding, especially working on COPD and bacterial infections. So that created a lot of interest for me to do research, because our area, especially Telangana area, because I'm mostly familiar with the Telangana area. So most of the individuals, especially with the smoking history, have COPD and bacterial infections. And after that, like, in between, I had to drop out from that project because of some other reasons. Now I don't disclose all that, but anyhow, everything happens for good. That's what I take it. And after that, I took the IT job, and it's my survival, but still I have a passion continuing in me. And in 2019, I came in contact with SVS Medical College in Mahbub Nagar. And I found that they have a Palamur Bioscience as a preclinical study where they have a lot of facility for in vitro, in vivo, including larger animals, like an IND drug processing application, that beagle dogs. In India, no one has a beagle dog breeding and studies can be conducted, but Palamur Bioscience has it, and recently they got monkeys also. So all this is with passion. I'm working, especially I started working in SVS Medical College for PG students. So I try to inculcate some research activity, research interest in them, because they see a lot of patients. So most of the research, whatever we do, like in the lab, those are like, to finding a target molecule or pathway, right? So many things. But finally, it has to reach a patient where it improves their health. So I instead of contacting because I don't have much contacts in OU now, like in 3 years back. But now I think Ravi and is trying to develop a network. But last 3 years I've been working with medical college students, PG students, especially during COVID also. We applied a lot of projects, how to apply, how to develop a hypothesis, and then develop a project, develop the methodology, everything like. So we submitted projects, close to 10 projects, I think, to DBT funding, wherever the funding agency, for several diseases, including the COVID-driven diseases are there, right? Thromboembolism. So then started working, developing the vaccine also. Several things we have been doing also now. So the idea here, what I'm trying to say is, like, first thing is develop an idea, where you want to work, what you want to work. So look around you, like, you'll see most of the health challenges are there. For that, what you need a better drug, you need a better maintenance, right? So take one path, whether you want to develop a drug or you want to improve a health condition. So there are so many options we have. So based on your studies, like, I don't know, zoology, chemistry, physics. So chemistry, definitely organic chemistry, biochemistry are important if someone is interested. So they can study well and get like in a CSR fellowship and then come here, or someone wants to do PhD, come with an idea. What do you want to do exactly? It's not that like, it should not look at fishing. I just came here and I want to do something. No, that's not the thing. So here, most of the research labs do not have a luxury. Luxury means you come and learn. No, you come with an idea. Always refined idea. You discuss with your mentors or your friends, or you go through literature and refine your idea. Yes, I want to do this. So hepatitis C, right? There is no vaccine. There are so many companies developing. But can we develop a hepatitis C vaccine? For that, what do we need to do, right? Like, tuberculosis, COPD, AIDS, it's prevailing a lot in India. So how many people are working on those diseases, tropical diseases, chronic diseases, diabetic foot ulcer? There are so many, clinical challenges for R&D. So in case you want to get into R&D, you can get into R&D. You want to get into clinical type studies, yeah, you can get into clinical study design. I think Srigata was telling, he's good in clinical study developing. So if someone is interested in that, yeah, you can contact any of our mentors are listed here, and I gave my email ID. So they can contact me. What are the best I can do? Definitely, I'll be extending my support to the. Especially, one should have a passion. It's not that I'm just fascinating. You should not have a fascination. Always should have a passion. That should drive you to contact and impress. Impress in the sense idea. What is your idea? New, innovative. It should be an innovative thing. It's not that everyone does. Even I want to do the same thing. No, you should think outside the box. Okay, so I'll not extend much, and already my friends, or I can say not friends, of course, the mentors in this group have already explained. So reach out to me through my email address that I've given already in the chat. I think Ravi, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and
Yeah,
thank you for others also.
yeah.
I learned something from others also today. That's good.
Thank you, Srinivas. Next is Pradeep. One quick question, Srinivas.
Yeah.
Are there any opportunities in the Palamur Bioscience doing some internship or projects for students?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Someone is really
You can talk.
interested. Definitely, I can offer that. So I can
Yeah.
guide them also.
Okay, great. Thank
Definitely,
you.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Srinivas, talking about Palamur, just 1 second. Srinivas, I recently actually visited the Palamur Bioscience actually.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
very
like
good.
few months ago. I was there. I just wanted to curious, I heard from other people and I thought, I want to check myself. Because that is the only place I think, there is a, dog and also rabbit.
Beagle dog, rabbit. Yes.
Yeah, large
we got
animal.
monkeys also.
Yes. Yeah, they told me that. So I spent a whole day with that place. Actually, that's a great place to learn, actually, honestly.
Yes,
Any life sciences who are interested in the biomedical research, I think they're doing a fantastic job, simply because in the whole country, I think there is not much large animal research related to biomedicals available. So
for a special INT application.
Yeah, because Indian government don't allow large animal research, unfortunately, for several regions. So somehow they got the license, or I don't know how they got it. But say that is a great place. I mean, to go, because they are actually, I feel like they need people also.
Yes, yeah.
Because there are not many people really paying
veterinarians
attention.
Veterinarians are there because and also one interesting thing, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. We got in vitro fertilization in cattle. So government of India has given them to produce, this in vitro fertilization thing.
Okay.
2 lakhs orders are there, not able to meet that demand. So they are trying to superovulate cattle, cows, and then aspirate the egg and then fertilize outside. So that kind of a technique is there really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a great place to learn actually, because that's going to be invaluable experience.
Yeah, and also they have a ACS medical college, like, dental and PG college is there. So any clinical condition, any clinical study to be done, it is easily done. And so we are expanding clinical studies also in that place. So if anyone is interested, really, the ACS Medical College as well as the Palamur Bioscience can help.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Pradeep Cheruku. Pradeep, you are already unmuted. Hello. Yes. Go ahead, Pradeep. Something not working right for you. We are not able to hear. Yeah, go ahead. Pradeep. All right. So we have maybe 20 more minutes. If there are any other mentors in this group who would like to speak, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and you can only mentors. You can talk. If I don't recognize
Hi.
you. Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
you guys able to hear me?
Yes, yes, now. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Ravi Diavar. I am right now a senior scientist in Adisat Bio company, biotech company in America, US, San Francisco. So I am basically from Nirmal, Adilabad, and I completed my actual schooling, everything there in Sri Saraswati Shish Mandir in Nirmal. And then moved to Nizamabad for intermediate and Kakatiya, actually like a college. And then because of my father's job as well as actual education will be great at Hyderabad, so moved to Hyderabad. So I completed my bachelor's in SP College, Sardar Patel College, affiliated to Osmania University. And then, so I actually like did my master's in Hyderabad Central University. So at that time, the first time I couldn't able to actually like succeed in getting into Hyderabad Central University. So I was very much interested to do master's in biochemistry in Hyderabad Central University. So there was actually like a 1 year gap came. But I think like, so since I am a person who continuously want to do actually something new and something actually like good. So I happened to actually like also complete my B.Ed Bachelor of Education for a year. So though I was not really interested in the teaching area, but actually like since my major focus is to get into Hyderabad Central University next year, so I just completed another year, and while I was actually continuously studying in the evenings and going to I think at that time a coaching center, actually a masterminds coaching center for some time. And so I finally I went into actually like get into the master's program in biochemistry at the Hyderabad Central University. And then so I actually like was interested into come to USA at that time, but I think like because of economic situation in my family, I couldn't able to actually like write GRE TOEFL and want to couldn't able to come actually after completion of masters, while most of my actual colleagues, at least a few of them already decided to do masters, some of them, and again, and some of them directly came into PhD program here in US. And then I actually like was interested to do something actually like useful with my interest actually, and the virology is the area I selected, and particularly, so as you all know, actually at that time in 2000, actually like so the means most of the actually like HIV infected people were dying because of the lack of proper drugs. And there are some drugs, but they work only for selected people. Or actually like if you treat a person with this HIV drugs actually for some time, so they get resistance, and then the drugs fail during actually like after treatment for a few years. So then I actually like decided to do actually like something means towards actual development of drugs. So my PhD major focus was development of actually like our identification of novel drugs, HIV drugs from natural sources. So for this particular project, we collaborated with National Institute of Oceanography, Goa, as well as ICGB Delhi and National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. And because this kind of bigger project would have not been possible without involvement of everyone. And that's why we could able to actually like do, and that was a DBT funded project. So where so for entering into the PhD, as you all know, I think like CSR is one of the important actually like a medium actually to enter in, and I was actually like could able to get the CSR JRF and ICMR JRF, and I was also actually like could able to actually like finish GATE with All India rank 47 at that time. So, but I think like that didn't really mean anything, even though I went with that kind of actually like GATE score to couple of IITs. At that time, they were not ready to actually like fund me unless there is a CSR fellowship. They were not ready to actually like take me to actually like a PhD program. And so actually like after completion of the PhD in National Center for Cell Science, Pune University, then I moved here directly to US, Emory University, Atlanta. So for this actually like as most of you are expecting actually how to come to actually like US, is as most of the other mentors already actually like discussed a little bit more in detail. So there are two ways actually. Like one is you can directly actually like approach a guide or mentor actually like, and the second one is through fellowship programs that are offered by actually like different universities here. So I actually like could able to get a contact because I was interested in virology. So I was screening several mentors here who actually like do research. So particularly science is a passion. So unless you have a strong interest, you cannot really drive further. So that's why I selected actually like some and made a list of mentors through whom I should contact actually based on the literature that is available in the PubMed, and then could able to actually like get some shortlisted some of them, and then contacted them directly, and then could able to get opportunity in Emory University with Dr. Rama Amara's group. So he is a pioneer in HIV DNA vaccines and also immunotherapy, and also actually like he is developing some of the antiviral drug development actually like in the more biologics related ones. So yeah, after completion of my 5+ years of postdoc, and then I was actually as a faculty. I joined as a faculty at the University of Nebraska Medical Center as an instructor, and then was an assistant professor for 3 more years in 2017 to 2021. So actually because of the funding situation as well as some of the actually like the career was a little bit lagging behind. So I was actually like then interested to move to industry here, and now actually like working mostly the development of viral vectors and characterization to support both actually like cancer treatments as well as infectious disease treatment at Adicet Bio. It is advanced immune cell technologies, but it is called as Adicet Bio in the short note actually. Like so, yeah, I think since this particular session is been focused mostly on introduction, so with that I leave. The reason why I actually like I went through all these actually like the different stages is I think like means even though you have a actually like a very low profile or low background, but with your passion you can drive further actually like yeah, you can come into actually like a means US with a good PhD program or postdoc program, and also actually like to industry. So since I have been in actually like regular touch with several chemists even in India, and yeah, if anyone actually like interested to contact me actually like regarding the programs, and also I think like any available opportunities here and how to approach, so yeah, please do so. And yeah, thank you Dr. Ravi actually for this great opportunity to at least actually inculcate the new young scientists who will be coming up, I think like yeah. So with that I will leave this session, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks Dr. Ravi. That was a great presentation, a great journey. Pradeep, are you there? Pradeep?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear?
Please
Can you
go
guys hear me okay
ahead.
now?
Yes.
Wonderful. Sorry about that. I mean, there was some connection issue. So I'll start and then end pretty quick. I mean, I don't want to consume a lot of time here. But I did my master's. I did my bachelor's actually from Calcutta University in like in 1996, 97, I think. So from there, I wanted to pursue my chemistry. And I mean, I wanted to become a medical doctor, but I could never become a medical doctor because I was not good at it. I mean, then I started like say, what are my options and how can I proceed and make my career for a living, right? I mean, and then I said, okay, chemistry is one of that. I think I heard from a lot of seniors that you can get into organic chemistry and then you can get into pharmaceutical companies. You make decent money and all that, right? I mean, then I started pursuing my master's in Osmania, and then I finished my master's in organic chemistry there. And then from there, I was not actually into like more like PhD, and this is what I wanted to recommend go with your interest, right? I mean, I think see you want to do PhD in chemistry or you want to do masters in chemistry, it doesn't matter. I mean, at one point you need to make it for your living, and then you need to be good at it. I mean, if you're doing like if you want to go to teaching or academia, you need to be very good at fundamentals because you would be making another person like you, I mean, down the line, right? So be good at it in basics and then all that. But if you want to pursue research, I mean, you need to be abrupt with the newer technologies, skills in research, experimental design, and all that. And you need to develop in those lines. I mean, which is not needed in teaching, but which is more needed in more like pursuing research and all that. So I was looking at like what are the techniques in organic chemistry, and then how I can start learning that. And actually, I found some private labs there as well before even I start my PhD and started learning more HPLC, GC like that, and then. And that's one thing what you can do, like just not waiting for the opportunity. And then if you have a little bit amount of money, or I mean, if you have friends in the industry or in academia or something like that, I mean, you don't have to do by yourself, but you can actually start looking at it and then see how it functions and all that. I mean, try to get there, and then and that will help you a lot going forward. I mean, at least you are not an alien to the research field by then. And then from there, like I started my PhD actually in IICT with Dr. Darshan Ranganathan there. I mean, I think once I started my PhD, unfortunately, she died, and then I had to pursue different opportunities, and I tried at different national labs in India, and then IITs. But it was in the middle of academic year, so I couldn't really get into any. I mean, there was a waiting list there, so I said like, why don't I write TOEFL and GRE and then try to find some opportunities abroad. And by then I already had like 6 months, 8 months research experience in my hand. So I wrote a research proposal. I found a host in Sweden, in Uppsala University, and then I found say like, I mean, I'm really interested in bioorganic chemistry, so let's start writing a proposal together, and then if you like my proposal, then we can actually convert into like a research project. And then if you like me from there, you can actually take me as a PhD student. And then like it's more like an open discussion between me and my host there at Uppsala. And then I wrote a proposal, and it was not a best proposal ever, but it was like something that I showed my intent, right? I mean, and that's what he liked it a lot. I mean, you did not ask me for a position or anything like that. You said that, okay, give me a chance to prove myself. And then so that we can actually, I mean, assess you live here, and then we can actually make a decision. So I went there, I landed in Sweden with a fellowship there. Then I did pursue my PhD actually in different fields, like I did method development in organic chemistry as well as in bioorganic chemistry. So coming from India, right, I mean, we had this kind of an idea that chemistry is just medicinal chemistry. I mean, there is no other facets of chemistry, at least to me, like they did not even exist at that time. So when I came to Uppsala, then I started learning about solar cells. Like there are vast amount of programs there in chemistry where chemistry knowledge can be used, right? So focus on that one as well. Like it's not just a pharmaceutical chemistry, it's not just a biological chemistry, but there is a chemistry in every topic we do, right? I mean, and then we can actually pick and choose our topics and then get some kind of an idea, right? I mean, we can become master in all. And then see, I mean, we don't know what kind of opportunity will come, right? I mean, get a call from Tesla and then say that, okay, this is our battery technology, and then we want a chemist to help us. So you should be able to do kind of synthesis and all that. Like you should be able to more like a generified experience there. So I did my PhD from Uppsala, and then I came here as a postdoc at a National Institute of Health to do my research from more like a drug target pull down, medicinal chemistry, and natural product synthesis, and all those slides, right? So I used my skills, which I learned in PhD, and then it's more like an independent researcher kind of a training here, rather than I would call it a postdoc here. But then I got my own funding from Los Alamos National Laboratory to do completely different research. I mean, it's not medicinal, it's not, it's more like a type 2 bioorganic chemistry, but it's a different line of research. So I did my postdoc there. I got my opportunity to start my lab, but there was some budget cuts and all that. And then I ended up in a company called Ecolab, which has nothing to do with medicinal chemistry, which is more like water treatment. And then how do we treat wastewaters? How do we enable refineries to maximize their production? How can we do the asset protection for them, like in a scale and corrosion inhibition and all that? The chemistry is, I'm pretty sure, I'm the witness for that. I mean, chemistry is used big time there. I mean, it's like same concept, like you use the copper chelators in biology, and you use hydrogen in biology, and then at the same time you use the same technologies to protect different things in other areas. So I did my 8 years of stint at Ecolab. Now I'm a technical manager in a foundry-based company, which has again nothing to do with biology, but we actually spend some time on Legionella and then some wastewater treatments here as well. So the biochemistry actually useful there. I mean, you don't know how to integrate these things. It's until you do it, right? So my thing is like, keep your eyes wide open, and then don't restrict yourself to one area of chemistry, right? I mean, it's easy to get follow seniors, and then other people say that, I want to do only one kind of chemistry, which is medicinal chemistry, that has a lot of future. But that is something which I learned differently. So I mean, any things, I don't have much suggestions. Just go with the wind, and then try to grab the opportunity. And then only thing what I can suggest people is you need to show the intent anytime, right? I mean, you need to show the courage to learn. You need to show that I am here to learn and execute. It's not just about learning, right? And so that's what makes you different and unique. And then if any help needed or anything like that, I have my phone number in the group and email in the group. So you can reach out to me personally, and then I can give my 2 cents for your growth. Thank you, Ravi, for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Pradeep. I think that basically completes the list I have. But if there is anyone,
Ravi,
we have only 1 to 3 minutes.
Ravi,
yeah, go ahead.
This is Mahendra. Just a quick message I would like to post here. some students messaging directly to me. I recommend, yes, of course, I will help you. Anybody. First, I would recommend you to join the WhatsApp group that we created, PhD and Postdoc.
Yes.
I don't know, a few students from Mahatma Gandhi University just messaged me. I would recommend them to join the me there through WhatsApp so that we can communicate and then I can help you. I know professors who are here from various different universities or students. Forward the link, joining link to your friends. Then join the WhatsApp group, and it's easy to when communicating here in the Zoom chat. Okay, we're going to have more sessions.
Yes.
We are here to help you. Are we from your side? All right, Ravi, that's all I wanted to just say.
Yeah, thank you, Mahinder. And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get much time for others to speak today, but it is an opportunity to learn from people who are in US and successful. So that that's the first thing we need to do: listen from people who are here who can help you. So next session onwards, maybe there may be a few new mentors will be there, but I request all the mentors to join. And also, if you find any ways to help students, like opportunities or process or anything, you can post in the group so that I can forward that information to students. And eventually, our goal as a group here is create some kind of one-to-one mentoring based on what is your research area and what is that student is interested. If it matches, then certainly that is a great way to help them. So one is creating a general path for them, like process, how to get into the PhD program, or how to find the PDF in abroad, US and other countries. And second one is based on the student interest in a particular field, handhold them and give one-to-one mentoring or a couple of students like that. Okay, so that's the idea. And if you have any additional suggestions, anything, please message in the group so that we can.
Yeah, hi Ravi. Sorry to interrupt you. Can
Sure,
I get 1 more minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I am rushed to finish because so many members are waiting. So that's the reason I finished very quickly.
No worries. Yeah,
so I did not add a few valuable points actually. So
sure.
Yeah, PDFs actually.
Gangareddy, your journey is quite inspiring. Yes, please add some good points. Very
exactly.
important.
Yeah. So who are looking for PDFs? Because I gone through all these steps. So I want to add few points for them. So first activate some notifications in Indeed and LinkedIn notifications. There is a like boxes, there is a place. So you could activate, add your email ID. So you will get any like notifications which are related to your field, opportunities, postdocs in USA, either Australia, either whatever country you are looking for. So it's a weekly basis or daily basis. If you choose weekly basis, you will get an weekly emails, or if you get daily basis, you will get daily updates. What are the current opportunities outside in your particular area? And the second thing is, wherever like select which is relevant to your research area and go through some good papers, good journals. So select a few of the professors, I would say like 20 to 30 members, and go through their labs and their research deeply. So then email them. So in the covering letter, mention everything like why you are interested in their lab. So specifically mention that. So that is easy for them because most of them, what they do, they just copy and paste to everybody. They change the just name, dear professor, the professor name will change. They send common email to everybody because I experienced it. Because when I back to Melbourne, my PA used to forward me same. And the font size is different. The professor name font size is different, and the name is size is different, and different style is different. That means clearly indicating somebody is definitely forwarding. So nobody interested. If you do like that, so nobody interested to read your email. So the covering letter should be definitely mentioned about their lab, their activities, why you are intended to join in their lab. So you have to mention that. So then at least they try to go through your CV. So, and the CV also, just to don't make fancy CV. So try to explore explain your all the skills in the CV. So that will easy for them to understand. And the PhDs. So there are 3 types of fellowships. Not fellowship, the way to get PhD in abroad. So one is university fellowship. So every 6 months or 1 year, so every department or university will take open positions. Will give open positions for all internationals. So the second thing is the PA fund. So every PA has some fund. So whenever they write a grant, they will have some 2-3 positions. So definitely they have to hire the PhD students in their particular fund. So definitely they have to take. The third thing is exchange programs. So exchange programs is nowadays, most of the universities, international universities, willing to have MOUs with Indian universities, because if they have awarded PhD students from their university, so their QS rank will be increased. So that's the reason. So like 10 years ago, Australia has started initially with IIT Bombay. So Monash University started, then after 2011, so IICT and RMIT University started, and currently University of Arizona has also one MOU with Kerala University. So in that university, what they do, who are doing PhD in India, they also come to USA or any other abroad country who have MOU with them, and they will get a dual degree program. So there also there is a possibility to have international exposure during their PhD. So in the first 2 cases, if we have experience only, so in the university fellowships and PA, these both 2 categories, if you have experience only, research experience only, they will prefer us to take us. So that's my first suggestion is, if you really want to do PhD, first immediately join either labs, either universities as a private internship. Don't think about salary. Whether you get 5,000 also, that is fine. If you ask me, I am happy to do freely. So just the thing is our timeline. Okay, just decide that after 2 years where you want to be. So just make that clear. If that is clear, then everything is good. And the additional thing is, nowadays China has a different policies. So from last 1.5 year, so because of that, the choices of Indians increased double. So basically in abroad states, so most of the persons come from China and India. These are the 2 major countries the most intake will have. So nowadays the government policies are different in China. That's the reason postdocs also not coming to USA from China. That is twice the opportunities are increased double for Indians. So even though for PhDs also, this is a good time to get an opportunity in USA. So, and daily take have some time for say 1 hour or 2 hour. So keep it yourself for only applying for postdocs, or gone through some of the labs. So that will really help you to get an opportunity. At least once you appear for interview, definitely that will help you for next time. So for myself, when I was in Australia, I got I applied 150 applications. So for each application, it took me around 30 to 45 minutes. That because I need to apply through university side. I have to fill so many things before to finish my application. So out of them, I got 7 interviews. I attended 7 interviews. So 6 are selected me, and I received 3 offers. So 2 received 2 DS. So finally chosen 1. So option is, the choice is my end. So wherever I want, I could take a decision. So that's the reason. Just focus on the particular things whatever I mentioned. So just take your keep it 1 hour or half an hour for you daily. So then focus on in applying daily. Don't disappoint if they don't give reply. Maybe you will get some time. Definitely somebody should reply who are interested in you, because all the persons are not the same. So everybody time will come. Just you have patience, and you have keep on trying to get opportunities. Yeah, that's my 2 things to mention about this.
Yeah, Ravi, I think I got disconnected when I was saying something. Just 1 more minute I take, and then I'll stop.
Sure.
Yeah, so please join the WhatsApp group that Ravi posted in the chat window. And not only me, there are very well qualified mentors. We have quite a few in the group, and you can find a suitable mentor for yourself, and connect with him in person. It's a process. This mentoring or this training is a process. It's not like a one time or 1 day, 1 week. It's a process of few days to few months. So just join and then connect them there. The second thing I would like to mention, the Ganga Reddy's journey is really inspiring. Why I say is, he's an example. He used to communicate with me when he was in Australia. Somehow he found me as a connection somewhere.
Yes.
And then he used to communicate with me, asking advices, asking, what he's doing and recommendations and, things like that. I remember when he got these 3 or 4 options to pick, so he was a little confused and he was talking to me at the time. As an example how it helped him, so to where he started now where he ended up. So his goal was to come to US. Now he's there, right? So don't this is what the message I would like to say. Persistence, perseverance makes you to be what you are and where you are. That's all, Ravi, from me.
Great, Mahendra. Thank you so much. It was a great meeting. We have excellent mentors here, and students, as you identify the mentors and their research areas, please send me a message so that I can connect to them for one-to-one help. Otherwise, we will use these sessions for broader understanding of the process and opportunities in these sessions. Okay. I think
Ravi, 1 minute, just not my one. So
yes.
anytime, if possible, the mentors, right? So can meet in Philadelphia somewhere. At least we get to some kind of interaction. So that's one suggestion.
Yeah, whoever is around this area, definitely we can plan.
Yeah, maybe after November 9th, because I'm going to India, students. So I'm coming to India on October 22nd. I'll be there until November 9th. So if someone wants to, meet me, definitely you're welcome to meet me and get some suggestions.
That's great news.
Yeah,
Srinivas, thank you. Anyone else? Last minute comment from mentors. Students, you can post your feedback in the group so that we will take it from there, and we'll try to have the session again same time on Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Ravi. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all mentors and students. And I know some faculty joined from various universities and research labs, and they are patiently listening and trying to understand the mentors' perspectives and their experience. It is a great session. Thanks for your patience. And though we started with 50 people, now we have 30 people. I think out of that, we have 10 people only mentors, and remaining are some faculty members and students. Thank you, and good night to all Indian participants, and have a great Sunday for the US participants. And I will see you guys. We will meet again next week. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.